looking for this Game 2 victory to try and force to a Game 3. Shopify Rebellion, one game away from being considered once again the best team in North America, officially based off the standings. Some would argue they have been the best team for quite a while, but standings are standings, John. Can't go against those.
Yeah.
Nouns? They'll move up to the high ground, looking for a fight. Shopify doing a pretty good job of just avoiding them, and it seems like for the level 1 timings of Shopify, they just don't want to fight, which is completely expected.
Yeah, it's just not as good coming out. The threat of Nouns is pretty damn big, and that's also going to reflect in the lanes, of course. Like, all their lanes feel pretty damn aggressive. They manage to land their spells. It's quite easy for them to run down.
Oh, Lelis got shackled by Arteezy, and he is still alive, but... Oh, Crit takes the kill. Crit. Ahmed gives the tip immediately. And I know for Arteezy would not be happy. That was a free first blood bonus to Arteezy not going his way. Crit now may be punished for doing so, but gets a nice tether. Blood Grenade isn't actually going to connect mid-tether either, by the way, so Crit's going to be just fine. You know, Crit, maybe the argument is, I can buy more regen, Arteezy. What are you complaining about?
Yeah, just to stay true, this is a Venomancer lane. It's going to be pretty toxic to play into. So, you know, just let your support buy that regen up. Not the biggest deal in the world. Artur gets some assist gold for his trouble. And, you know, he gets to soak some EXP, so hey, you're happy enough. This lane for Moo and Husky, it does get better as you hit level 2. Level 3 is probably your big spike. And that's the point where, you know, the Wind Ranger is going to be under a lot of threat. Your uptime on early levels of Wind Run isn't particularly amazing. Going for a level 1 Shackle means you can't threaten with Power Shot or just trade freely with a Wind Run. So you have an opening for yourself in forcing that pickup here by Artur. But again, it takes some levels as well for you to get aggressive there.
Look at this long wraparound here from Gunnar. Gets back on his high ground. He's going to be okay, but Arbit's doing a very good job of just harassing him away from the creep wave prior to that level 1 reactive armor coming in. Meanwhile, bottom lane, we were already kind of talking about this. In fact, hold that thought, because Gunnar's taking a lot of damage, but he's going to be okay. Just debating our observer, of course. My apologies, weapons. Yeah. So, I was talking about the bot lane for a moment, but we'll go top lane. We'll go top lane. Don't worry, I won't do it again. Top lane, Yamson and Lelis against Saberlight, and of course Fly. I'll tell you, John, I was doing observing once, and the most annoying thing was casters continuously just switching lanes. It's so annoying. So, yeah. Yamson, looking to maybe jump in. Disruption is there from Fly. Yamson, he does have level 1 pounce, but won't bother trying.
Yeah, he doesn't need to. It's fine. And he can hold this lane steady as well in Slurk, but Saberlight's doing a good job of just applying some threat. This is one thing with, you know, with a Clink's lane, it can be a little bit slower to harass out. The Doom is pretty high armor, so you can't just zone out the Doom by tar bombing him down. Not quite the easiest here to make feel uncomfy there. And yeah, you should be fine. This is probably the most passive lane up top, unless someone severely oversteps on either side. You have a little bit more leeway on Shopify Rebellion just because disruption is there as a save. So even if you get pounced, you've always got a way to stall out and bail out. But yeah, this is the one lane that probably doesn't have too much kill threat. Maybe by level 5, that's where it ramps up. Beyond that, it's going to be a static farm lane for the most part.
Yeah. Pretty static all around in the laning phase so far, though Arteezy could find himself in trouble. Moo does not bother going for a charge through the Wind Run. Husky did pop the Gale and Blood Grenade there onto Arteezy, but it's just not trusting they would have quite enough with crit around on the IO, and they'd probably be right in saying so. Had some Magic Wand charges, had the salve available, though nice cancellation on the salve. Just the Blood Grenade getting it done. So Husky being very annoying here and Moo doing the same. And speaking of Moo, while we're here, John, he's having a pretty good time in terms of CS. Pretty free kind of lane for the Spirit Breaker. Gonna have a very quick Vanguard, and there's not really too much they can do about him. He's just gonna stand here and he creeps because he knows they can't really force him out.
Yeah, same thing goes for Artur though. He's not really being backed off, so even farm between these two cores is fine for the Wind Ranger. They do play back and forth, but not going to really be able to commit in either one. And just kind of maintain that farm parity. The most interesting lane is still that mid. Abed's just crushing. To be expected from the matchup, right? You're forced to run Timbersaw mid into the storm. The magic damage doesn't care for your reactive. You've got a range advantage. You've got constant magic spam. A little bit cheaper as well for Abed to spam out his 2 spells. And there's just not much counterplay from Gunnar. Like this is the one downside of picking that Timbersaw really early on and revealing the mid Timbersaw in the last game. Shopify Rebellion get a good read, and you don't get as much value now for Gunnar. And Abed is set to have a faster 6 as well. So a kill threat onto him is just not feasible. This lineup from Nouns, it doesn't really pin down the storm. Yeah, even if you rotated early on, it doesn't feel like you have the best answers to deal with Abed down the line here.
No, it certainly doesn't feel that way. Abed, Storm God himself, having a really good start, and something you don't want to see if you're Nouns, that's for sure. Especially when you're going to have an IO behind him. And Gunnar, I mean, he had a really good game 1, so should be able to keep up and catch up and eventually have his own impact on this Timber. Even the top lane's going very well for the side of Shopify, like Saberlight. Looking to move in, Yamsun, looking for a pounce way out. He does exit to the right side. But Saberlight's complete free farm here on the Doom. Like, he's almost doubling the CS of Yamsun at the moment on the Slark, and that's not very good news for Nouns, because last game around, they were dominating most lanes with the heroes they had picked up, but this time, Shopify, they do have all lanes basically on lockdown.
They're getting everything they want out of these lanes. Again, it's just down to the top lane in particular. It's just down to having a Shadow Demon around. Like, you can't commit to pounce in with a Vanguard up. Your physical output duo just doesn't melt through a Doom. So you really just can't stop the farm. And as a Slark, you're always threatened by the Scorched Earth, so you can't afford to go too close as well. I'll bet he finds himself the Haste Rune, has that 6 up. Gunnar has his 6 as well. And he does have a raindrop, so it's a little bit harder for Abed to maybe gun for a kill, but he's free to just keep farming like this. There's going to be a quick timing out his Witchblade.
He's just going to skip the creep wave, maybe head down bot as Abed hands the tip over to Gunnar. Yeah, he could literally just rotate bot. Gunnar's already drawn the line out because that's what he thinks Abed will do. Abed, though, he's hanging around the triangle for now, and he might just skip another one. I mean, why not? It's one way to make sure that the Timber doesn't have a lane advantage. Just skip the wave and maybe rotate later when you see a better opportunity. In fact, he might do so right now. He has made his way over. Oh, but they want to secure the 7-minute Wisdom Rune. That's what they really want. Crit's already there hanging around. Gunnar's courier goes down to Abed. Charges out onto Abed. We'll see if he can survive this one as the charge does not land. A nice zip away. Meanwhile, Crit does outclick Gunnar for the Wisdom Rune, so they do get away with it as Abed going to try and TP out and is going to be fine. Crit, on the other hand, will not be so fine, though he is trying for Husky's life. He will not be able to get it, but they do secure both Wisdom Runes.
Yeah, they're going to be able to feel pretty good about that. I mean, these two supports really need the EXP. So you're fine with that sacrifice. You are not quite fine with losing your Doom here, though. Nice opportunity that Yamsun does find himself, understanding that the backup isn't quite there to punish that pounce in. And they do manage to get something going for themselves on Nouns. A 1-2 start, less than 1k lead coming out for Nouns. But the lanes, if you look at the CS at the very least, still much better coming out here for Shopify Rebellion. Even the farm across the cores, rather even, which isn't a bad launching point for either side. You do worry about maybe the Clinks hitting this timing. Medallion up for Lelis. Once the Solar Crest is up, that's when things can get scary there.
Well, top side of the river. It's a fly. He's going to get caught here. Gunnar will take the kill. So nice little pick me up here for the Timbersaw. Even Stacks now being spotted by Lelis, so Gunnar's going to move in, try to take those away immediately. It's not too many stacks, but it is a nice bit of bonus gold here for the Timber. Something he desperately needed after that laning stage, and well, now Gunnar is officially top of the net worth board here on the Timbersaw. So that laning stage, it's almost like it just never happened.
Just kind of offset it with these nice pick-offs coming out from Nouns. And for the side of Shopify Rebellion, I mean, they're still trying to get some forward space out. There's some good vision from Nouns to spot all this movement. They know Abed's kind of playing tag up here. He goes under Watcher, disables it now, but not going to be able to find any surprises for himself at this point. And it does feel like for the side of Shopify Rebellion, again, we talked about this from the draft, but their draft is a little bit slower. It's going to take some farm on your Doom. It's going to take some farm on your Storm. You're going to need some levels on your IO. Your Wind Ranger as well. It's going to need that build up into the Gleipnir.
RTZ.
You have to wait for a lot of things here as Moo. I'm not going to fully commit here for RTZ just yet.
Yeah, I mean, I highly doubt they would have found the kill without the Noxious Plague up on Husky. Could have tried, but would have been pretty tough. Gunnar has shown up now at the bot lane, so top lane, though, is where all the action's happening. Yamsun gets caught. Moo tried to TP there in time to help out. RTZ actually rotated through the Twin Gates to help make that happen, and well, Abed's the one to take the kill. That's a huge pick off onto the Slark.
Just in range for the Doom, Saberlight drops it. Nice, easy pickup from the side of Shopify Rebellion. And again, that's them leaving their Slark exposed in the solo lane, feeling like, all right, you know, Slark can just farm fine. You can try to get some action elsewhere, and they do get punished. Still,
does not get the power rune he wanted. Pounces out from Yamsun, but Abed still healthy enough. But Gunner's coming in now, and they've got a charge for the vision. Abed, he's now out of mana, but Crit is going to come in and help him out a little bit as Abed. No, he's fine. Surely they can't get him. They'll get Fly instead. Abed now turning back around. Moo, he timed a little bit too far in. The whole side of Shopify rotate. They do find Moo on the Spirit Breaker, and now they've got Lelis on the Clinks. Very deep charge from Moo. Not working out in his favor as Abed just outplays him. And with Crit on the IO, like, you've got to be very wary of those kind of plays.
Yeah, but it's like what you say when you play Spirit Breaker, Mike. Spirit Breaker players don't have the S button. So can you really blame Moo for charging like that? You can't.
That is true.
It's just in the nature of his hero. You just don't stop. It might have been smarter to stop for sure, but where's the fun in that, Mike?
Oh, us Spirit Breaker players, we don't have brains, John. Come on now. We press one button and we win. That's all we do. Maybe two if we're lucky. Saberlight top lane could be in danger. He's not looking too lucky at the moment, though he is pretty tanky with the Vanguard up. Still trying to run. Relocate is there with Abed and Crit. Now they're going to turn back onto Yamsun, who's forced to pop the Shadow Dance and just TP out as they go onto Lelis instead. Why not take the Clinks? Saberlight moving back in, trying to maybe secure the kill himself. But Abed will take it. And Crit and Abed, they back off at the perfect time.
That was very well timed. Right on the last tick of staying in there. Abed gets the hit and run going his way, and now you've got the full mana battery storm. It just nuts Gunner.
This is a lot of damage from Abed. Gunner cannot sustain as Abed is thinking about continuing. But my goodness, that is some damage.
It's a ton. You're trying to charge into him. It's all the way from the base, though.
The Crit with this Soul Ring build, he's just giving so much mana to the Storm. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. You just sustain true, you know. It's the classic mana battery for the Storm. And now he has his Prospecting Aura Kobold. So some passive gold. And because you're always stuck with a Storm, even Abed gets the benefit of it. Isn't that great?
Yeah. 40 GPM, can't complain. Saberlight, he might complain here. John, there's a charge, huh? Pounce does land from Yamsun. Problem is the rotations are already coming. Fly, he'll get the disruption off, so the Doom is going to be fine to back off the Saberlight. He's thinking about popping the Doom. He won't do so. Instead, he'll just let Moo die to Abed, who's really starting to pop off now in the Storm. 4-0-1 is the scoreline for Abed. He's got, what, 80% of the team's kills already? That's the wrong math, but you get my point, Jonathan. He's doing a great job.
Hey, Mike, it's fine.
33.3% is, I believe, what it was meant to be.
NA mats, Australian mats. What's the difference, Mike?
It's 66.6. I gotta get it right eventually. Yamsun. Abed. Oh, Abed. He's just setting up everything perfectly here. The Arteezy will take that kill, but this IO Storm, my goodness, it is a problem.
It's a massive problem. Again, it's such a free Storm game, because how do you stop him? Charge is dodgeable by literally just balling into him. Pounce, not the easiest to land onto a Storm in the first place. There's nothing to stop Abed. They might be able to make a move on to Artur down bot, but
gonna
just
try,
wind
but the
run.
wind run makes it so hard.
And Arteezy's been left alone for so long. He's level 10. He's got the full Maelstrom up. He's got 2k in the bank. Like, he is finding everything. This is a hero that doesn't necessarily farm the fastest, but when you leave it alone long enough, it'll find that farm for sure.
Can they really go for Arbit? They're gonna try. He gets an Arcane Rune. Charge, though, does land, so the Nether Strike will indeed land as well, and Arbit's gone. All right. He messed up the zip a little bit there. Went for the Arcane Rune instead and does get punished.
That's the punish you want from the side of Nouns. Shutting down that Storm. Huge streak to find off of that kill. Still the side of Shopify Rebellion. And yeah, they're still going to snag these Wisdom Runes away. All that attention mid opens it up. And they'll be able to find themselves, again, this build-up they'd want on these cores and giving their supports a little bit of a breather as well. Kind of catching up. They do manage to take the mid off the back of this from Nouns. But like we've talked about before, the mid doesn't feel as impactful as the side lane towers at this point. Like with this patch, it's not as much of a game breaker as it once was. So you're kind of okay with that with Shopify Rebellion. They do have to stem the bleeding. They can't afford to take random losses now with this kind of lead.
It's easy. Let's TP away. It's lasting a long time, but they just do not know he's there. I mean, to be fair, I actually don't think they had a way to cancel the TP anyway with those 3 heroes. Literally no way to cancel. Now the smoke rotations are incoming. Shopify knowing exactly where they are. Want the fight. Husky will break the smoke of Crit and Arbit, but Arbit's more than happy to jump in and take the Veno kill instead, and will do so. Very least, Gunner does get his way out, but it's still another free kill here for Shopify Rebellion.
You're more than happy just finding a freebie on the tail end of that Arcane Rune. And, you know, you keep this build-up going on Abed. Falcon Blade, Witchblade up and running. Kaya up next. A little bit of a movement out top here. Look at him.
Oh boy. You know, game 1 was close. Game 2, it feels like one of those kind of games, John, where it could be a real stomp if Nouns don't get it together, because they are falling very far behind now.
Yeah, it's a bit rough going. I mean, they've got this Solar Crest timing up and running on Lullis, so they could try to make plays, but the side of Shopify Rebellion is a little bit too close together to find these support kills. Maybe Fly?
Maybe. Well, it's not dealing that much damage at the moment as the Clinks. The Gunner will definitely help out, but now a nice shackles from Arteezy. Hold him down, still they'll turn back around onto the Wind Ranger, locking him down with a Hex out. He is just dead. In fact, that was a pig out from Arteezy himself. Never mind the Hex, his crit. Also dropping, Arbed trying to find his way out, will be able to do so. Went for the zip TP play. And the peak pole, I mean, I believe every other spell was on cooldown, so Arteezy just trying to pop that to get away with the bonus movement speed, but just proving not to be enough.
It's a little bit rough. The Venomancer slow does ruin the Wind Ranger to a certain extent. And they kind of overstay their welcome on Shopify Rebellion, maybe not respecting that counterplay as much. Kind of streaming in one by one, sacrificing some pretty big heroes. They are getting some space out for Saberlight at the least, and Mu does manage to bail out Bot. Could have maybe been found as a kill. And
Yeah,
this is an opportunity, though.
Oh, Roshan's open. Nouns with the Solar Crest on Lilith, they want to try and swipe this one away from Shopify, who feels like it's their Roshan to lose here, Shopify Rebellion. Mind you, it's not the easiest process. Taking them a fair bit of time. They've got to be careful with this kind of Roshan play. But it seems like Shopify just cannot guess that this might be happening. But Roshan, it's still so slow. Scan is now out. Shopify are aware, but it's too late. Gunner will take the Aegis. Nouns, they kind of just get away with murder.
It's a big take. Should allow them to start looking for some aggression themselves and get some punishment on the slower pace coming out from Shopify Rebellion, as they are just kind of sitting back trying to get that build-up you'd want on a lot of these cores. Still need a little bit more catch-up on Arteezy after making some sacrificial plays earlier on. So Nouns can get something going here. And that's what we have to see. Like, you've got Echo Saber Diffusal on Yamsen. That's a pretty good start for the Slark. Probably comfier with the Ags. Whether or not you can really sit back and just wait for that 4.2k gold to come in, though, is a different question, because you're already playing from behind. Your heroes are really tempo-based in this lineup this time around, and it doesn't feel like you have that tempo. Perhaps just wait out Moo's Shadow Blade, so it's easier to get max value from the charge. That's where it starts to get a little bit dicey for Shopify Rebellion. Like, they've had decent vision game all throughout. They still have good wards down, but they're gonna get caught off guard at least once by the Shadow Blade.
Here we go. Doom committed, bottom lane. Just gonna be a Lilith. But there is value in just making sure the Clix is constantly remaining low in net worth, and they do take him out. Lilith not able to sneak around here around the Doom. That'll delay the Nullifier timing that they do desperately need to actually deal with this Wind Ranger. Mind you, Arteezy, he already has a Lincoln Sphere anyway. So it's not the easiest Wind Ranger to kill, that's for sure. Now 5k behind, still struggling to really find a fight that'll go their way. Trying to take the time to just keep the farm going.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It seems like Shopify will just do the same.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Just play the farm game. Not in a rush. I think they understand their scaling fields a little bit better, although scaling late game into a Slark can be problematic for a Wind Ranger, to say the least. I think it's not the easiest matchup core to core, but it can go either way, just down to outplays. Really, in how well you can manage a Slark, how well you can force out some bad uses of the Shadow Dance along with the Death Shroud down the line. Hobbit is going for a Hex as well. So that kind of instant lockdown, very useful up against the Slark, of course. Still, those key timings are there for Nouns. BKB for Gunners, Shadow Blade for Moo. They can make some ambush plays now. They can catch some of these heroes off guard. Fly's worked himself to a blink, though, in Shadow Blade, so he can hang further behind to get these saves off.
Gunner, he's got the Aegis, but it's going straight away.
Oh boy.
Arteezy's doing a lot of damage on this Wind Ranger as they are going to charge in, trying to make sure Gunner does remain alive. Gunner popped his BKB for this, but the chain, it doesn't get him to the high ground, but he'll walk up himself. He's okay for now. Problem is, Arbe just keeps going. Moo trying to run, but he was purged up by Saberlight. And now the Demonic Purge is going to slow him up even more. Moo was running in slow motion thanks to the Purge of Saberlight and the Purge of Fly. Some could say he was put in purgatory, John.
Yeah, he definitely was. Definitely was stuck in some form of purgatory there, as he can't run away. Maybe he's just stuck listening to... Oh.
You about to say Backstreet Boys, John?
No. He was listening to good old Purge. He's purged up, listening to that 8-hour long patch note read. That's exactly what it is.
Wasn't it longer than 8 hours this time? It was huge,
I'm not sure. I know he's just insane. I know how he has the energy to do that, Mr. Kevin. It's a madman.
Jeez.
This is a maddening game as well. 11-8. It's still pretty close, although it has been clearly in Shopify Rebellion's advantage for a while. Win probability right now is 60-40, so not too badly disadvantaged for Nouns. Still very much a playable game. Can they hit these item timings? They just overextend a little bit on that tier 2 push, and Gunner's not able to chain away. That's really the big takeaway there. He's not able to get the distance between him and the enemy team, and just doesn't lead to the most effective Aegis use coming out here from Nouns. That bottom tier 2 is still standing at 230-ish HP. So gonna need to come back in to clean that up. But you are getting more items flowing in for Lelis. Nullifier is not too far off. You've got some protection coming out with Husky with the Glimmer Cape up. So you have some tools on hand here. That makes this game a lot easier to execute on, but the timings for Shopify Rebellion are still lining up here, Mike. Like, again, the Hex on Abed is a really big tool. Arteezy, he's got a casual Chrysalis and is working into a Yasha. Perhaps looking for a Manta style? Just to dispel off some of this control, I suppose. Could be one way to go about it.
Still a universal hero as well, right? Like, the Manta stats are just so nice for the Wind Ranger, as well as the Dispel. So, smoke up here from Shopify. As for with the Dire Jungle, they run right into Nouns. No vision around the area. Smoke broken immediately. Nouns, they were trying to go for a smoke of their own, but they have at least found Crit to start. Doom was committed on Gunner though, so Gunner could not help in this team fight as Crit is still alive, but he finally goes down. Problem is Gunner's being focused by Arteezy. Arbed's found Yamsun. Yamsun is down to boot. This is not the team fight Nouns wanted, because now they need to really get out of this. Arteezy chasing for more. Oh, the shackle. Trying to make a cheeky play there, but not able to do so.
Dire's top
Massive if they manage to connect that for the kill. Still, you manage to force the buyback out from Husky. Just scaring
clearing
off
out the
a little
creep
bit.
wave. One of the positives about having the Shadow Blade with the SB, you can clear out creep waves without really breaking your invis. It's pretty nice. Zabit's got a hex up already, John.
Yeah, it's scary. He's been farming that up for a while. These kills just giving him enough to get that control up. So your Slark can be a lot more susceptible. It's not going to be able to dance around with the double pounce as much. Even your Timbersaw is under threat. Even while Doom's down, Gunner is still a hero that they can manage with that Sight of Vice up. And it gets a little bit scary. Like this lineup from Nouns, it doesn't have an easy way to constantly find Crit, punish him on the IO, take him away much earlier on. There's always value for Abed. He's always got mana to play with. And this game, it's not an easy game to lock in a Storm. Look at Abed. He doesn't even need anything like a BKB here. He's not scared of pounces. He's not scared of the charge. He's not scared of anything.
No, he certainly is not. Very confidently. I mean, it's not often you see a Storm taking T2 towers on his own, but that's basically what's happening here. He does have the backup of Crit. Allow him that ability. Nouns, I mean, they're looking pretty lost here in this game too. AK behind, just nothing working in their favor at the moment. Still just trying to find more and more farm. There does come a point in the late game where if you have multiple nullifiers, the game does feel infinitely easier, but like the thing is, to get to that stage is going to prove to be quite hard as Abed, he just zips right in onto Yamsun and Yamsun's gone.
Jeez.
I mean, to be fair, that was the Sight of Vice reveal from Abed, but he found the perfect target for it.
Just gets the angle, finds the biggest target you'd want to pin down. And all the cores of Nouns right now just suffering. And this lineup kind of wanted to play a little bit faster, but it was Shopify Rebellion all the way getting this aggression going. Relocate out.
Well, they knew Lilith was around there somewhere. They actually got stunned by the Ogre Bruiser. The Ogre Bruiser stunned both of them. That's hilarious.
It's a rarity. It does happen every now and again. Not the biggest loss in the world for Shopify Rebellion, but you get a little bit of room for Nouns to try to scale up. Again, Nullifier for Lulz is pretty much done. You have some ways of trying to manage R2 a little bit better, try to lock in some of these slippery heroes. Burst down the supports really is the big thing we need to see Lelas do. Like if you can somehow isolate the Shadow Demon or isolate the IO, that's where the game simplifies. You remove the saves, you remove the battery that Abed needs to sustain all of this aggression, and you can take on these prolonged fights where you might not have enough in the tank without the IO here. You might not have enough durability without that Shadow Demon to bail you out here.
You certainly may not. Shopify hanging around the top side of the map again. Husky gonna TP his way out. They are waiting for this next Roshan, which is 30 seconds away. Nouns, I really don't think they want to try and allow this to go down for free, but the thing is, can they actually fight is the real question here, and right now the answer does not feel like it's a solid yes. If they can maybe find a pickoff or two before the Roshan really gets started, it could be very, very different. So there's going to be a 4-man smoke behind Mu. They are wrapping through the Dire Jungle, but Abed's already made the jump in on the Spirit Breaker, and he never got bulldozed off, so the Hex is long enough to make the kill work. Oh, Yamsun! He popped the Shadow Dance very early on, maybe trying to juke out the Doom. They end up dooming Husky instead, and with the Shadow Dance gone, like, it just doesn't feel like you can really keep the fight. Nouns just have to get out of there. Gunner still being chased, running away from Arteezy. Lelis not being spotted here. Nice power shot, gonna hand the vision over to Arteezy, but he cannot keep up. Roshan is now back up, so they can go back for that if they so wish. Arteezy is rushing forward.
They've got about a minute, but they should have enough damage to just melt through the Roche. Shouldn't be an issue here at all for the side of Shopify Rebellion. And again, a pretty clean game coming out from them, outside of a couple of overextensions earlier on, out of overconfidence perhaps. Nouns, they're on the back foot, 14k behind. They've not been able to pop off a little bit earlier on. They've not been able to contest any of these movements out. And again, the scaling on the side of Nouns, it's not bad, but with a disparity like this on farm, you're not going to see that scaling kick in anytime soon. It's going to take a lot longer for them to feel comfy here. Like, the impact Yamson has had, it's felt minimal this game. Like, if you can land that pounce onto Abed, the game opens up, but if he doesn't, then what do you do about the Storm? Again, just no solutions here.
Absolutely not. Abed's had the freest game of his life, apart from that one death he had, which, you know, to be fair, was more so his fault than anything. He really wanted that arcane rune earlier, but nevertheless, it's been a perfect game for the Storm so far, basically. Now I'm still yet to get off on the right foot here, John. I mean, I can't remember them seeing them win a team fight, to be honest with you.
No.
Like, single pickoffs here and there, but no big team fight wins.
Yeah, hasn't been coming out. Artur just freely takes a top tier tree. TP's in, but the tower's gone.
Yeah, I mean, he's got over 300 damage right now with just stats. Very nice. Zip in, sight the vice out. Gunner's been caught already, but he will BKB and be just fine, as now the nullifier is out on Arteezy. He's dropping fairly low, but he does have the Aegis up, so he should at least be able to give the first life away, as Yamson also jumps in, but needs to just jump back out. They actually could not kill off Arteezy with Crypt behind him. They get him low, but not low enough to actually get the Aegis down, and well, with that, Shopify, they will successfully just retreat. No need to overextend.
Very disciplined from Shopify Rebellion, not forcing the issue. They did pop Doom, so you don't have that big spell to help you, kite around Gunner. Maybe try to pop down Yamson as well. So just a little bit of hit and run. They can go back in and just slowly poke and prod. But again, very disciplined. They understand if you give an opening, Nouns is the kind of team that can use that opening against you.
Bottom side, Abed. I mean, if they could catch this man out, it'd be amazing. Problem is, he has the Sentry Ward to give vision, but a nice charge from Mu. Gonna stun him up. Abed wasn't expecting it, but it won't matter. He's still too tanky. Oh, so close. Arteezy, in the meantime, just casually taking top racks, as they are still trying to force the fight while the Wind Ranger is not around. But I don't know if they actually need Arteezy. Crit does go down. That's a good start. Lelis will drop as well, but a nice shackles. Arteezy locking down too. Yamson is down. Gunner being chased as well on the timber. Tries for the Glimmer Cape TP away, and he's gonna make it. But without a buyback on your Slark. And look at Arteezy. He's just diving right past the tier 4 towers. That's a Spirit Breaker just getting deleted as Arteezy finds a double kill on the Wind Ranger. Boy, oh boy, I mean, what do you do against this, John? It's too much.
Can't do much at this point. Like, your best bet now is just to look for moments when Shopify Rebellion is not grouped up as a team, but it feels like it's a little bit too late for that. Mid-racks set to fall, top already gone, bot still protected by a tier 2. So you're not going to get mega creeps just yet, but it doesn't feel like Shopify Rebellion even need to find the mega creeps. They can gun for the end game here. Age is still up for a little bit more time. I
just realized Sablight's been doing that thing again, John, where he's trying to get the low cooldowns with the
Oh,
time
yes, he
before.
is. There you go. He's going for overwhelming blink this time.
Oh. Bit upsetting. Teasy, charge is there. They've got 2 lanes of barracks. Moo will have his charge cancelled. And that'll be enough. Shopify, they're going to play it safe. They'll go through the bot lane, try to get the last barracks. Sure, the tier 4 tower left standing is really low, but no need to risk it. Nouns have proven to be a team that can make the comebacks happen. They're just not willing to give the openings over.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious about one thing. I remember a time where we were casting... this was some time ago now, Mike. We were casting an EE game where there was an IO Wind Ranger. And we reached a point where you did get the attack tethered allies target.
Ah, yes.
I don't think that's the play anymore, but, you know, universal type IO, right? You could,
like it.
theoretically.
I like it. They should do it. I mean, it's kind of hard. Crit's level 16. I highly doubt he's getting to level 25.
I don't think we'll reach that point.
It'd be amazing, though, if we could get to see it again.
Such a long time ago. And now it feels like it's been such a long time since we've seen them make any sort of play. Just the state of the game. They've not been taking the initiative in any of these engagements. It's never on their own terms. It's always Shopify Rebellion running into them. Like, the impact of these heroes are just minimal. Moo has not been able to do much on the Spirit Breaker. We talked about that time where the Shadow Blade just doesn't do enough. The Lelis on the Clinks with Nullifier just doesn't do enough. Like, it's all just a little bit too late. That's really the key thing. The timing just off. And Shopify Rebellion knows how to punish late timings here.
Here we go. Gonna try and clear out the illusions of RTZ. Lincoln's broken. Just so hard. Like, unless you kill Crit off, it's kind of difficult to expect him to die. Like, he's got Cheese, Refresher Rune in the bottle that he does pop. And he also has a mech. So, like you've got so much to go through before RTZ dies, as long as Crit is behind him with a tether. Shackle out, RTZ. Starts with Yamsun, already half his HP gone, just from that initial onslaught of the arrows flying through. Keep in mind, RTZ's critting for about 1k per right click at the moment. $957 damage on the creep wave, to be exact, as they'll go back for the Tormentor. That is going to get deleted very quickly here. So now you've got the Gale Force available for RTZ. Very annoying spell to have to play against.
Used to be more annoying. You know, when it was global. Still really annoying, though, to deal with.
Charge in. Moo. Stun 3. Arbet going to happily go in himself. Bulldoze was popped by Moo, though, so he's going to be fine through the Scythe of Vice. And now it's really cannot afford to lose this lane of barracks here. Jump in again from Gunner. Charge is out from Moo, trying to find the IO, but Saberlight with the Ag's Doom is in. Onto Gunner, the Timbersaw, he is just dead. He will buy back immediately. Back into the team fight he comes. Lelis also getting caught out, has no buyback available. He's gone, and Moo will also go down with that buyback. It's 3 versus 5. It is not looking great, as Husky also committing his own buyback now. But Shopify Rebellion look like they're set to take this series. Nouns are still trying to fight back, but the Ancient is halfway down. The creeps are incoming. Shopify are literally just playing with their food now. In goes Saberlight. Lelis is gone another time. Saberlight dies. They'll let the creep army do the job. The Ancient's gone. Shopify Rebellion, once again, the best team in North America.